This is Chris Kelly with your Core Complete Abdominal Brace instructional video. Now, the act of contracting the abdominals during exercise is one of the most important concepts that we're going to learn with core training. And this is the first thing that I'm going to teach my client when they step into my gym. This begins with awareness, all right? The way that I'm going to teach the client the concept of the abdominal brace is I'm simply going to ask them to place one hand on the stomach here and one hand on the low back. All right, I'm going to ask them to imagine being poked in the stomach as if they're about to be punched or, jabbed in the stomach. All right, what they're going to do is reflexively contract the abs. I'm going to tell them to actually poke into their stomach. What will happen is they're going to feel the abdominals contract all along the front and also the muscles of the back here. So the muscles of the back hand here and the front hand tense at the same time. This is an abdominal brace. This is just the concept of the abdominals tightening around the stomach or tightening around the waist to protect the lower back like a corset. Once my client understands this concept, I'm going to have them perform several braces, just to get this down. Then we're going to go to the floor to begin learning our first teaching progression. All right? By providing kind of a supported environment here, the floor is the first place to learn the abdominal brace. And the first thing that I'm going to ask my client to do is, once again, place one hand on the stomach, one hand on the low back. Press the back lightly down into the top hand here and just feel the abdominals contract. All right, from here, we can just lift one leg off the ground and kind of just feel the way the muscles react to this. Once the client is able to do this, I'm just going to have them cycle a few breaths while maintaining their abdominal brace to make sure that they're not over-bracing. We don't want them to squeeze so tight that they can't breathe. But once they're able to breathe and brace at the same time, we can begin by simply raising the legs off the ground and begin with our dead bug exercises. Now, all of these exercises are contingent upon maintaining this brace. So when the client starts feeling this in the low back, I'm going to tell them to stop, come down, concentrate, and reinitiate their brace. For a client that isn't able to do this, for somebody that might not, get this concept or is having trouble, what we can do at the same time in this position is utilize a form of compression. All right, so I'm holding a band here. All right, what I'm doing is I'm just pressing down slightly. That's helping my abdominals compress immediately. All right, what I can do from this position is just come up, and it's just a bit of a crutch to help me to maintain my brace while breathing normally. All right, by having the client do it in this position, they've learned to, again, breathe and brace at the same time with a little bit of support. Once that is the case, I can move back to the start of the dead bug and proceed safely. Now, from this position, I'm going to move into a quadruped teaching position for our plank circuit. Okay, for the plank circuit, I'm going to start my client out on all fours here. All right, I'm simply going to ask them to arch their back to full midnight here or to 12 o'clock. Okay, full range of flexion, and then extend into full extension. All right, the first thing we want to do is help our client find a neutral spine between these two extremes. So I'm going to ask them to raise it up to about 6 o'clock here, about a middle position. Once that we find this slight arch in the back here, I'm going to ask I'm going to put just an object of some kind. I've got 2 tennis balls taped together here, but you can really use anything on their back here, and ask them to just press down on the floor and tighten their abs. All right, this is the concept of finding a neutral spine while maintaining an abdominal brace, and this is what I want my client to do as they raise up in a plank position. So from here, while they're maintaining the brace, I'm just going to ask them to raise into a plank, hold in this position, and come down. I'm going to cycle this through a few times until they understand how to do that properly, and then we can safely proceed with movement of the extremities while maintaining an abdominal brace. Now, for our last teaching progression, for our vertical core exercises, we rise to standing, and we want to transfer this concept to standing. Sort of the ultimate progression is to be able to maintain this abdominal brace in standing and really bring out the definition that we're looking for in our abdominals. And in order to do so in a standing position, we can simply incorporate the wall. With this, I'm just pressing into the wall, helping me to tighten my abs, and I'm just practicing breathing and bracing. I'm just going to ask my client to contract, breathe for a few breaths here, and relax in a similar manner to the way I might perform a plank. All right, once they're able to do this, we can get them off the wall. We can have them holding various objects, just walking around, again maintaining a brace for up to a minute at a time. And once they understand this concept, we can safely proceed with core training exercises in standing, such as maybe a pull-off press or a carry variation where we're carrying something to our side. But once they understand this critical concept and they're able to execute their brace, they're going to have great success with every abdominal exercise, and you're going to look like a superstar. So that is your abdominal brace instructional video.